So I'm Dr. David Minton. I'm an associate professor of planetary sciences at Purdue University. The reason we have leap years is because the length of the year and the length of the day are not really related to each other. However, we like to have an integer number of days in a year. So in order to keep the calendar synced up with things like the seasons, particularly when the beginning of spring is and the beginning of fall, the equinoxes, we have to make a correction to the calendar to keep that synced up. The current system that we use now is called the Gregorian Calendar, it's got some complexity to it, but the basic idea is that usually every 4 years you add an extra day to the calendar to kind of keep the years synced up with the seasons. If we didn't have leap years, what would happen is eventually the calendar would get out of sync with the seasons. So we would like to have the start of spring be in March, and if we didn't have the leap years, eventually the spring would start to drift and we'd start having the first day of spring be in January or October. So the calendar would no longer match the seasons. What Julius Caesar did was add a leap day every 4 years, and that's still not quite right. And over centuries, the calendar was drifting again. And so with the Gregorian calendar, they instituted some extra offsets that I don't have to go into, but every century you usually skip a leap day, but some centuries you don't, like the year 2000 we didn't. And that helps keep our calendar synced up over sort of thousands of years. I'm always fascinated by the way that the movement of planets, the astronomical phenomenon, influence our day-to-day lives. So our calendar is something that we use all the time. We organize our society and civilization around timekeeping and the reckoning of time. And that is completely tied to the movement of the planets and all the sort of the ways in which the solar system operates actually influence us in ways that we don't always, I think, appreciate. We look at how the orbits of the solar system have changed over time. And one of the things that's actually happening to the Earth is that the length of the day is actually growing longer due to tidal effects from the moon. So the length of the day, or the number of days in a year, has actually changed over geologic history. There used to be more days in a year than there are now. And that's continuing. The Earth is slowing down. So eventually we won't need leap years anymore when the number of days in a year is exactly 365. That's going to happen in about something like 2 to 3 million years from now. So if you wait around 2 to 3 million years, your calendars are going to be a lot more simple and you won't have leap days anymore.